This is the Sakar Murli of the 13th of October 2023. Essence. Sweet children, have patience. Your days of sorrow are now over, and your days of happiness are about to come. The children whose intellects have faith are patient. Question. What is the easy way to prevent yourself from wilting under any circumstance? Answer. Always keep the sample of Father Brahma in front of you. He is the father of so many children. Some are worthy, some are unworthy. Some do service, and some do disservice. Yet Baba never wilts, nor is ever afraid. So why do you children wilt? You must not wilt under any circumstance. Song. Have patience, O mind. Your days of happiness are about to come. Om Shanti. It is not human beings who are told, have patience, O mind, because a mind and intellect are in a soul. So it is souls that are told this. No one except the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, can tell souls to have patience, because patience is only given to those who are impatient. If God is omnipresent, he can't be called impatient. At this time, all human beings are impatient and unhappy. It is the Father who has come to give you patience and happiness. He says, now have patience. The Father's versions are not just for you, but they are in fact for the whole world. The whole world will gradually begin to hear. Those who hear will continue to come. Only the one Father is the bestower of salvation and the remover of sorrow. This is a world of sorrow. You children understand that these are the days when you attain liberation and liberation in life. That is, these are the days when you are liberated from this iron-aged, impure world. This is in your intellects, but number-wise according to the efforts you make. Not everyone has the assurance that we are now to be liberated from this world of sorrow and to go to our land of happiness. You children should also have the firm faith that your days of happiness are now about to come. But that is only if you continue to follow Srimat. There is no question of blessings or mercy, etc. in this. The Father sits here and teaches you easy yoga for self-sovereignty. This study is also called knowledge. He is giving you children elevated directions. First and foremost, your faith has to be unshakable so that it can never fluctuate. There is a song, I wanted to meet the one who lives beyond in the Brahm element. Now that I have found him, what more could I want? You have the faith that you will receive your inheritance of heaven from that Father. So from the beginning you receive lasting patience. This is imperishable patience. It is certain that you are establishing the most elevated of all kingdoms on the basis of Srimat, without fighting or quarrelling. Even if there are 10 or 12 children at home, what need is there to wilt? Look at Baba. He had thousands, hundreds of thousands of children. Some children even create upheaval. Some are worthy children, whereas others are unworthy. Some do service, whereas others do disservice. Does Baba become afraid then? So neither should you children become afraid. You also have to live at home with your families. On that side is Hatha Yoga, the renunciation of karma. Yours is unlimited renunciation. This is Raj Yoga. You have to live at home with your families and claim the inheritance from the Father. It is very easy. You can now see the trees of your land of happiness. You recognize the visible and the invisible with your intellect, whether you have visions or not. You are making effort for your own kingdom of the future. Your aim and objective is in front of you. You can see the picture of Lakshmi and Narayan. It shouldn't be that you would only believe this if you had a vision. This is something to be understood with your intellects. You can see that picture with your eyes. You will then see the same thing with your eyes. This is Raj Yoga. Your intellects also say the pictures are here. So what need is there to be granted visions? Sri Krishna is the master of the Golden Age, is he not? Shiva is the resident of the Supreme Abode. You can become Lakshmi or Narayan. This is your aim and objective. Therefore look in the mirror and see to what extent you have those divine virtues in you. The Father gives you a lot of patience. You now have to study. Knowledge is needed for the kingdom, and the Father is giving that to you. Those who study for the Indian civil service have the greatest intoxication that they will then become senior officers. In fact, people become millionaires by doing business. Baba is now teaching you this business of bartering. You give shells to the Father, and in return Baba makes you into the Masters of Heaven for 21 births. This is a business as well as a study. You aren't concerned with just business. You also need to have the knowledge of this world history and geography. You also have to become a spinner of the discus of self-realization. The more you study, the higher the status you will claim. Even the subjects, maids and servants, will be masters of heaven. Everyone now says that Bharat is their land. However, there is a lot of difference between kings and subjects. The Father says as much as possible, claim the highest status of all. Make effort like the mother and father do. It is understood that not everyone will be seated on the throne, but you still have to be inspired to race. The kingdom will be claimed number-wise according to the efforts made. Baba, as the detached observer, observes the same efforts that everyone makes as they made in the previous cycle. Then, when Baba sees that someone's effort is a little slack, he inspires him or her to make it intense. Your effort appears to be very slack. You still have attachment. Once you are made a trustee, why is there still attachment? You simply have to follow Srimat. Some asks, Baba, should I have a house built? Yes, why not? Build it. You may live comfortably. This dirty world is only for a few more days. You may live comfortably. You may get your children married. The Father doesn't take any money from you. He is the bestower. Shiv Baba has had this building built at this time for the children to live in. He has made this body the instrument for him to live in. However, human beings definitely need buildings to stay in. So Baba is having them built for you children. Baba is also sitting in this building. You know that that one is the father of souls, and that this one is the father of bodies. He has adopted you. You are my children. You say Mama and Baba. This means you have been adopted. Prajapita Brahma has so many children, and so they would surely be adopted children. He adopts you children. Saraswati too is his daughter. These are very deep matters and have to be understood. You have studied the Gita and the Bhagavad, etc., and this Baba has also studied them. However, now, according to the drama, you are receiving Srimat. Whatever is said is according to the drama. There would definitely be benefit in that. Even if there is a loss, there is benefit in that. There is benefit in everything. Shiv Baba is the benefactor. His directions are good. If you doubt it, then instead of following Srimat, you follow your own dictates and you become deceived. What can Shiv Baba do then? You have to ask for advice at every step. The Supreme Guide is sitting here. Many children forget this because they do not stay in yoga. Yoga or remembrance is called a pilgrimage. If you are not in remembrance, then you must understand that you are taking a rest. Some go on a pilgrimage and take a rest. If you too are taking a rest and do not stay in remembrance, your sins will not be absolved and you won't move forward. You can't come closer if you don't stay in remembrance. Souls get tired and forget the Father. The Father says you are moving along on the pilgrimage. You take a rest at night anyway. It isn't that when you are asleep at night you are on this pilgrimage. No, that is a rest. You are on the pilgrimage when you are awake. Sins are not absolved when you are asleep. But yes, no further sins are committed. So the Father explains everything, but you should still put them into practice. He continues to tell you many points. The points of a barrister enter your intellect when you are studying to become a barrister. When you study to become a doctor or an engineer, you then become a doctor or an engineer. Whatever course someone takes, that is what he would become. Here there is just the one course. Continue to move along. There is a big burden of the sins of many births on your heads. There is only one way to have those sins absolved. You have to remember the Father. Otherwise your status will be destroyed. The rosary has been created. There is also the memorial of the 9 jewels. People don't know where it came from. The 8 jewels are those who become the rosary of Rudra. So you should make good efforts. When students study well at school, their parents become aware of that from their register. Here, the Father himself is also the teacher, so he would know. You are studying with the Father. He is also aware of your register. You can also understand from your register to what extent you have those virtues in you. To what extent am I making others the same as myself? Do you have sufficient power that you are able to make others who see you forget their bodies? It is said when the child has courage, the Father helps. The Father gives a lot of help. You also give the help of yoga. The Father only wants the help of purity. The whole impure world has to be purified with the power of yoga. The more help someone gives with yoga, the more pleased Baba will be. Is this help for the Father, or is it for yourself? The more you study, the higher the status you claim. The more you stay in remembrance, the more you help me with purity. I have come to make the impure ones pure for the pure world. It is here that you become pure and impure. That is the incorporeal world. It is sung, O purifier, come. They don't understand what the pure world is. Sita was liberated from the jail of Ravan and from sorrow. Therefore there has to be happiness after that. Others receive a lot of peace and a little happiness. You receive a lot of happiness as well as a lot of sorrow. Souls who come at the end will play their small parts, then leave. They take 1 or 2 births. They just come for a short while and depart. For you, it is a matter of 84 births. For them, it is a matter of 1 or 2 births. You know your 84 births. By knowing the cycle, you become the kings who are the rulers of the globe. They would not be able to become that. This knowledge is not for them. This knowledge is for those who took this knowledge in the previous cycle. You now have to make effort. The time for making effort is now. The question of making effort only applies to you. The deity religion gives a lot of happiness. No one else can give as much happiness. This eternal drama is predestined. Not everyone can receive a part of a hero or heroine. There are all types of human beings. There are many types of good and bad people. Most elevated of all are the deities. They are the only ones who can be called elevated. They only exist in the Golden Age. There are also their pictures, but no one knows how they became those. Some say that Krishna is present everywhere, and that God is present everywhere too. You children have now understood all of these things. This aim and objective is very good for you to explain. You definitely have to invite everyone. Everyone can receive an invitation in the newspapers. There is now very little time left. Even now some children still become tired on this pilgrimage, and so they sit down. They are unable to tolerate the storms of Maya. Maya will definitely catch them on the battlefield. She will become powerful with the powerful ones and fight them. Storms will come very forcibly. They would then say, there have been many obstacles from the time I came into knowledge. There is also loss in business now. Baba says, don't think that the obstacles have come because you have come into knowledge. This continues to happen in the world. You mustn't be afraid of it. Sometimes there is one type of omen and sometimes another type. Some collapse while moving along. The omens of Rahu are very strong. Maya eats you, and you then become very ugly. Maya slaps you and makes your face completely dirty. Maya too will be victorious. If only the children were to become victorious, the kingdom would very soon be established. When you forget the master, the teacher, Maya slaps you. The brides forget the spiritual bridegroom. This too is a wonder. Acha. To the sweetest beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the mother, the father, Bapdada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say Namaste to the spiritual father. Essence for Dana 1. Become a helper of the Father in making the impure world pure with the power of yoga. Do not take a rest on the pilgrimage of remembrance. Let your remembrance be such that the person in front of you even forgets his body. 2. Do not doubt Srimat or use your own dictates. Follow the advice you receive for every situation and consider there to be benefit for you in it. Blessing. May you be a master bestower and make the atmosphere spiritual with your good wishes of cooperation. Matter makes you experience its influence on the atmosphere of sometimes heat and sometimes cold. In the same way, you conquerors of matter, souls who are always cooperative and easy yogis, have to be cooperative in creating a spiritual atmosphere with your good wishes. Do not think this one is like this or this one does this. No matter what the atmosphere is like, what a person is like, you have to give your cooperation. Children of the bestower always give. So be cooperative, whether it is with your mind, with your words, or with your relationships and connections. Definitely have the aim of being cooperative. Slogan. To fulfill everyone's desires with your stage of being ignorant of any knowledge of desire is to be Kamdenu, the cow that fulfills everyone's desires. Om Shanti.